Now we speak with Ryan McCormick, co-founder of Goldman McCormick Public Relations. Ryan, you run a very successful business. Do you ever get at a point, are you at a point where you say, I don't need a mentor anymore. I'm rolling, I'm rocking, I'm doing great.
Go out of your way to help as many people as possible. I found several people that I respected and admired that I wanted to learn from or have them influence me.
Now, should you seek a mentorship rather than an internship? Navigating your career path and industry, well, it can be particularly challenging, especially if you possess limited experience, like you're going into something new. Now, having a mentor, well, that helps you emerge and speed up quite a bit, as you probably know, helps you refine your professional skills, and you can get a lot of insights from someone who's already been there or understands, especially people that have been in the field for decades. Now we speak with Ryan McCormick, co-founder of Goldman McCormick Public Relations. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the show.
Tony, it is an honor to be with you. Since the last time we corresponded, I'm just personally so happy to see all the shows that you've done and the success that you've had. You deserve it. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you. It's very, very good to see you again. We met when I first started podcasting, I think some 7 years ago.
Yeah.
How time flies.
Yeah.
Now, in your course, in your career, Ryan, you've been mentored by some great notables such as Michael Levine, who, by the way, he represented 58 Academy Award winners. It's like astounding.
Yeah.
And what I like to do is get down to the beginning of this, to get down to basic. When do you realize, when does anybody realize that you need a mentor?
Well, when I first got out of college, I'd say that's when my insatiable curiosity began, and I wanted to learn about the PR industry. And Tony, I was doing multiple internships. I did an internship at WFAN. I interned for Howard Stern. I interned for 3 or 4 different places. And about 2004, the internship I was at, I was kind of like learning a process about it, but I wasn't getting a lot of my questions answered. I think I had so much curiosity about the industry. So I reached out to a gentleman, Michael Levine, who at the time, I mean, he was on top of the world. He was so difficult to get in contact with. So I actually created a website for him and for his books because I had read his books. So eventually he got on the phone with me. He thought I was a little wacky kid. Which it was, but I just wanted to learn the industry. We connected, we got along really well, and he started to teach me about the industry in a way that no one else did, because I was always respectful to him. And in the course of several years, I wound up producing an event in New York where he met some key people. We've always remained friends. I've always contacted him. And then something started happening in the last 5 years where he started calling me. And he was asking me for advice about the industry. And we've kind of like, we've become each other's teachers and friends over the years, but that learning from him firsthand and being able to have someone who can kind of see you progress and grow, there's no substitute for that. And I would highly recommend a mentorship over an internship any day, because I think in an internship, you learn a system, you learn a process, you can learn some things, but with a mentorship, the person there has a vested interest of you and them as them and you.
I think that's absolutely brilliant. How you got Levine's attention. That's a great takeaway. I like
it's pretty hard. Yeah, it was, but it worked. I just thought creative, and that's how I've actually met other people who I've either wanted on a show or I've wanted to meet. I've done things to get their attention. Judith Regan's another person. She's a legendary publisher. And while I wouldn't call her a mentor, I would call her a significant teacher. And I reached out to her a number of times. I think after it was about 15 years where I finally was able to get a meeting with her and get her on the phone and talk. And I learned so much from her. So the mentorship, even though I'm in PR, I continue to learn from people. There's someone who I respect and admire. Tony, I will do whatever I can to help that person, and just to get them on the phone or just to talk with them, just to learn from them. So it's, I think it's an ongoing process.
You're passionate, Ryan, to spend
Thank you.
15 years chasing someone,
Yeah.
but the jewels is absolutely amazing. And I think we could do a series on mentorship. In fact, I teach some things on my Patreon, but that's a different story. But back to you, I wanted to ask you, in terms of having a mentor, Ryan, you run a very successful business. Do you ever get at a point, are you at a point where you say, I don't need a mentor anymore. I'm rolling, I'm rocking, I'm doing great?
No, no, I've never gotten to that point. I'm happy to be more established than what I was. But Tony, I've also always believed that if you stop learning, if you stop swimming, you start sinking. And we have to learn something new every day. There's a gentleman who's a good friend of mine. His name is Jim Carroll. He's a renowned mentalist. And he says that you have to grow your brain every day with new information, new stimuli. And I believe in that. So, I feel like in my point in any industry, I will never get to a point where I say I will have to stop learning. I want to learn from other people. I want to learn from other publicists. I want to learn from other podcasters. I continue to talk to people and to seek out teachers, probably not to the intensity of level that I did when I was younger, but if somebody is fascinating and they have a skill that I'd like to learn, I won't hesitate for a second to reach out to them 25, 30 times.
Absolutely agree with that. Now, here's a very important question, because I
Yeah.
think some people may not understand this. So I'm going to just ask you straight up.
Sure.
Do you think just one mentor is correct, or should you have multiple?
Well, I think if you have one person that encompasses a goal that you have in mind or a person you consider to be a role model, that may suffice for you. My experience, I found several people that I respected and admired that I wanted to learn from or have them influence me. So if you have one person, you're kind of putting your eggs in one basket with that person. So I would recommend having maybe 2 to 4. And if you're going to approach these people, I would go about it in a very diplomatic way and bring value to them first. Offer to send coffee to them, send them something, offer to say, can I take you out? Can you have lunch with me? Or can I buy you, can we meet for 15 minutes? I just want to learn. I just want to listen. I think very few CEOs are approached this way today. I'm sure people they'll want something from them. But if you just sit there and you want to listen to them and say, look, I'd love to absorb some of your wisdom. Can you teach me some things? It's a really great, it's personally fulfilling for a lot of people, I think, who are CEOs, to teach and to share their knowledge with others, especially those who are very passionate and willing to listen.
I really like that. And you mentioned just
Thank
a
you.
little bit. I'd like to drill a little bit more into this, Ryan.
Sure.
How do you find a mentor?
Well, I'd say you find a mentor by, if you're looking for a personal mentor, looking for one in business, find a book or a person whose work you truly admire. What I admired about Michael Levine was not only the fact that he had represented 58 Academy Award winners, but there was just an intensity for the interviews that he would do, his style. He was you could just tell he was sharp as a tack. He was so sharp. And when I looked at him, I said, I would love to emulate that. I would love to be like that. I would like to, I love that style of PR. So in your profession or any profession, look at it. If you find a person, I would say, go on YouTube, find interviews with people. And if you start to resonate with a person and you respect what they are, the character and what they've accomplished, start becoming more immersed in their work, start following them, start complimenting them, do whatever you can to help them. If they've written a book, write a 5-star review and send them a link to the review. Doing that is one way to do it. But I would say just seek out people who you respect.
That makes great sense. And we do that. And I'm thinking with this, and while you're saying this, I'm thinking you have some very creative ways to find a mentor. And by the way, for the audience here, it's not like, we think of a coach or a consultant where here's $5,000 a month or whatever the rate is. Teach me something for, an hour a week. This is a different level. This is someone that's going to share their wisdom and their knowledge with you in the field that they're an expert in. Because I think especially when people get very successful, that they get to a point where they want to teach someone. It's not like it's they're just at the level where giving back is the natural, what do you call it? The natural stage, the natural step up to go for where they are. And they want to help others.
Yeah.
And there's creative ways to find these people. And I'd love to talk about maybe a couple of more right before we go.
Sure. Well, a couple, before we just talked a little bit more about how to find mentors. And a teacher of mine, I wouldn't call him a mentor, I call him a teacher, once said, I brought this up to him last night. He said that when you're at a crossroads or when you are deciding what to do, or you're not sure what to do, he said, go out of your way to help as many people as possible. Help people who cannot help you in return. He said, just start doing that. Go be really passionate about helping people. So once you start doing that, there's an energy that begins to happen, and you'll be amazed at how naturally you'll just start flowing. You'll start meeting people and doors will open. So I want to share that with you, because when I was looking for teachers and I was just trying to do whatever I can to help other people, these doors just started naturally happening. And I think that if you are a person who enjoys the process of helping others, raising other people up, and doing whatever you can, even if you can't really offer them anything, you'll start to see wonderful doors open up. And as far as meeting some of these teachers, how would you go about it? Well, you can look at them on, some of them are on social media, some of them are on Twitter. There's a website that I like to use called hunter.io. And what that does is you can put a website on there and it'll give you a list of all the emails associated with that particular website. So that's a quick way of getting some information on there. Sometimes when people reach out to CEOs or people they want to have as their teachers and mentors, they'll go through the HR person. And I'd say try to contact the mentor or teacher directly. You can send them an edible arrangement, send them some cookies. You can ask if you could stop by and take them out for coffee. You can connect with them on LinkedIn. You can make a personal video message to them. There was a actor who I really respect, Tony, and we connected recently on Facebook, and I recorded a 3 or 4 minute video of myself in a suit, giving that actor ideas on, okay, well, if we work together, this is what I would do, and this is how we go about it. And sure enough, I got a positive response, and we're in the process of potentially working together. So I would say that when you really want to work with someone, you want to learn from them, do anything you can to connect with that person. And also think about how much value can you bring to that person. Think about all the ways that you can help that person. Just by being a good listener should put you out in the front. But writing 5-star reviews about their books, writing a positive review about their company, or just be willing to take advice and helpful direction from them, that should be something that should intrigue their interest.
Those are some great points. I think
Thank you.
We could talk about this for a very long time. It's such a great big subject. I want to thank you so much, Ryan. And can you tell us where can we go to find out more information about you and what you do?
Sure, Tony. Thank you so much. You can learn more about me and my company by going to goldmanmccormick.com. That's where our company is called Goldman McCormick PR. That's GoldmanMcCormick.com. And so we can learn more about us. So, Tony, thank you. It was so it's awesome to be with you, and I thought you asked great questions.
Thank you. I'll put a link in the description or the show notes below so that you can click on that and go check out Ryan. Again, I've known him for 7 odd years.
7 years.
Stand-up guy. Is that the right way to say it? He's a stand-up guy.
Thank you. Me too.
He knows his stuff. He's a good man. Check it out. He'll treat you right. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.